The leader of France's largest opposition party in parliament, Marine Le Pen of the National Rally Party, is sounding the alarm about the European Union's anti-Russian sanctions being more damaging to France than to Russia, and calling the sanctions the root cause of inflation.
EU sanctions against Russia turned out to be completely ineffective. In fact, sanctions have enriched Russia. In particular, the French have been sanctioned more than the Russians. So I think it's a big mistake.
The Chancellor of Austria is getting the same bad vibes.
If we continue like this now, there are only two options for you afterwards: alcohol or psychotropic drugs. And I say alcohol is basically okay.
But why simply take these officials' word for it? If anyone needs quantifiable proof that the EU has weakened its own economy through sanctions, the euro is now almost exactly at parity with the US dollar for the first time in 20 years. The EU's currency started plummeting against the greenback around the time it went nuts and started handing out anti-Russian sanctions like Halloween candy, and it's now down 12% since the beginning of this year. That's great news for Americans, maybe, who want to come hang out here in Europe this summer, but it's also good for rich Americans or corporations interested in buying up European interests at some kind of fire sale prices. Meanwhile, the Russian ruble reached its highest value in 7 years last month. And the big loser in all this? Well, it's Europe, to the competitive benefit of the US on the global playing field. Moscow has pivoted to the global south, but where is Europe going to pivot now, except right into Uncle Sam's arms? The EU had every opportunity to adopt a policy towards the Ukraine conflict that didn't involve harming primarily its own interests. Instead, it's forging ahead and reportedly preparing a 7th round of anti-Russian sanctions pushed by Nordic and Baltic countries. EU sanctions are working so well against EU countries, that French Economy Minister Bruno Le Maire is talking about cutting the power supply to some French companies, or what he calls load-shedding plans that slow down or stop the company's energy consumption.
Let's prepare for a total cut-off of Russian gas. Today that is the most likely option. We have to anticipate and to put ourselves in order of battle as of now.
The Financial Times in neighbouring Britain has already evoked the UK's National Grid's emergency plans of cutting gas to the EU in the event of a UK shortage, which would make matters even worse. And wouldn't you know it, the UK is already preparing for that worst-case energy scenario, with talk of energy bills that could climb to 3,300 British pounds per year. And already, the purchasing power of UK citizens has taken a big hit. The energy market consultancy Cornwall Insight attributes the dire forecast to an energy market that has become increasingly more volatile amid uncertainty over the gas that Russia sends to Europe.
Sales volumes are falling to a rate not seen since the depths of the pandemic, as inflation continues to bite and households cut back spending. Discretionary purchases were hit hard, especially white goods and homeware, while consumers also traded down to cheaper brands in food and non-food alike.
Yeah, in other words, uncertainty caused by sanctions that the EU imposed on itself and its very own citizens.